Hello, my name's Gavin, this is Genre Books, it's Tuesday, it's Tag Tuesday, and this week's tag is the Reading Tics Tag from Kevin Toll Reads, and I was tagged by Pat, a book chat with Pat. There are 9 prompts, let's get to it. Prompt number 1, do you only read at a specific time each day? No, I will read whenever I get the chance. I'm not in the office every day. When I am, I'm up early, I'm on a train early, and I'm reading on that train. I will only get about 40 minutes of reading in at that point, perhaps another 5 to 10 on the connecting train, if I'm lucky. I have the same on the return journey, and then I will read a bit in the evening, depending on whether I've got other things to be doing. On the days where I'm not at the office, I will probably get in about the same amount of time reading before I start work. And at the weekend, it really does depend on how quick I can record my videos, which means it depends in a way on how early I'm up in the morning and how easy it is to edit those videos before I start reading. So it's not a set time. There are some set times, but usually I would say whenever I find myself sat down and idle for more than 5 minutes, I will be reading. Prompt number 2. Do you prefer to read in your work / everyday clothes, or are you partial to reading in PJs or comfy clothes? I don't have pyjamas. Jeans and a t-shirt and a jumper when it's cold. That's no great insight. Prompt number 3. What's your favourite reading spot? It's this chair. It's not overly comfortable, so I'm going to drift off. But it's not uncomfortable because I'm sat here an awful lot. It's also got proximity to the bookcase, which helps, but I'm also facing away from the bookcase, which also helps. Prompt number 4. Do you snack while reading, or is this a no-go? I think it's a no-go. I'm trying not to snack at the moment. Even when I do snack, when I'm reading, probably not the best. I don't want to get greasy fingers all over delicate pages. Prompt number 5. Do you or have you ever peeked at the end of a book? No, not to find out what happens at the end of a book at any rate. There are a couple of exceptions to the no. One is that I will sometimes look at the page count to sort of gauge how long a book might take me. That will factor into whether I'm reading it that week or not. And with a non-fiction book, maybe to see if there are 70, 80 pages of endnotes. I always prefer footnotes in my history books, so sometimes this is a little bit of disappointment, but also can give me an idea again of how long the book I'm reading is. Prompt number 6. Do you prefer first person or third person narrative, or do you care? I do care. I care that the second person narrative is getting some short shrift here. I have just finished a book in the second person, a non-fiction book in the second person, and I think there aren't many second person narrative books. Parts, roughly half, I think, alternating chapters of If on a Winter's Night a Traveller from Italo Calvino, that's in the second person. Bright Lights Big City by J. McInerney, that's in the second person. And of course, all the choose your own adventure books are in second person as well. So yeah, that gets overlooked. As to first or third person, it really doesn't matter to me. It depends on what the author is trying to do. Obviously, if you have that first person narrative, you bring in the options of having unreliable narrators. If you have third person perspective, you have a choice to make as a writer as to the level of omnipotence and knowledge of the world that you are describing. As a reader, I find it difficult to think that you would have a preference for one over the other. They both are there to do the same thing and quite different things. Prompt number 7. Do you read the dedication, author's notes, the acknowledgements? Yes. Normally they're not very copious. It's interesting sometimes when you read the acknowledgements at the beginning. It gives you an idea occasionally as to how the book came about, where the influence may have come from, or even who the author knows. Prompt number 8. Do you have a favourite reading beverage? Yes, coffee. Coffee in the mornings. Tea from mid-morning onwards. Here is proof. Here is coffee. This is the content you're here for. And finally, prompt number 9. How do you decide what to read next? TBR, mood, goals, random choice. Yes, all of those. I try to plan my reading. It never goes strictly according to plan, but it gives me a rough guide to what I'm doing. The reading goals come out of those plans. I know what I want to read. Some book events are sprung on me. Some I know about well in advance. So the TBR is a beginning framework. But my TBR is voluminous enough that it encompasses any mood reading selections I may have. Mostly. I will not be bound by any of my plans or choices if I just have a hankering to read a particular book. And the random factor is supplied by joining in other book events, suggestions from other readers, suggestions from other booktubers, and the random factor is also supplied by my tote bag of mild peril. This is the tote bag filled with the titles of all of these books behind me. It doesn't always supply the book I want to be reading next, but it does sometimes supply the book that I need to be reading. It takes me where I need to go rather than where I want to go, and I quite enjoy that. But there you are. That was the Reading Tics Tag. I will tag people below the line. I'm a little bit late to this, so there may not be many people left to tag. So apologies if I'm tagging you and you've already done it or you've already been tagged. But thank you to Kevin, thank you to Pat, and I will see you all again soon. Until then, bye.